Hey guys, TheJericho2 here. I'm a professional poker player that plays mostly 500Z, and sometimes I do play high stakes as well. And I wanted to showcase you a tool that I've been using for quite a while, the Bunny Ranger. I wanted to show you the different usage of this software and just how it works, how it feels. I really do enjoy it. So yeah, let's have a look. So let's say we're on the button and we wonder what to do versus MP open. So we click MP opens, all right. And so what's buttons play here? So we see that buttons play is a mix of calls and raises. And now we want to see how MP would react versus one of our 3 bits. So we click again on MP and then we get the 3 different ranges: the full, the call, the raise. And I believe, yeah, that we can, this is the Monker ranges, so we can also ask what Pio would do, what would be how Pio would react. And so we see that the solutions differ a little bit from solver to solver. And let's say MP4 bit, so what do we do as button? So we click here and we see that we're mixing all 3 options with most of our range. And again, we can ask Pio's advice. So let's say MP did 4-bit and we're on the button and we're thinking of calls. So here we have the option of copying the range in a Pio format, opening Pio 2.0. Okay. So out of position range, we just copy and paste here the 4-bit range, and we do the same for buttons calling range. Here we go, Pio format. And so we have the range versus range here, and we can input the boards, the sizing, and just run it. So yeah, pretty useful way of just importing ranges quite easily. I believe there's also, you can also export it as a PNG picture, so PNG file. That's pretty great. And you know, it has all the info that you need. Let's say button gems. No, it would be here, sorry. And we see the reaction also of MP versus a button jam. So the folds, the calls, so everything's there. The other thing that I use a lot is this squeeze tab. So this is quite useful because oftentimes you don't really know the exact ranges for this. So let's say UTG opens, button calls, and we want to know what we do from the small blind. So we get the range here, and again we can export it, copy range as Pio format. Oh, we can also copy it as Equilab format too. I haven't used this tool in forever. Yeah, that's also an option. And then like whether you click on UTG or button, you can see their reaction. So UTG call here, what he does call, what he does raise, what he does fold. And if you assume that UTG just folds, we can just do the same here. UTG folds, let's say UTG folds, button strategy, so no re-raise. Oh, basically, yeah, you do have some ace king off that calls free, that re-raise a tiny bit, but yeah, most of the range that continues just calls. So yeah, and then you can do the same, export it into Pio, run it, you know, so it's pretty useful. Then cold 4-bit, another spot where sometimes you don't really know the ranges for this. So again, let's say MP opens, cut off 3-bit, so we get the range, and let's say we're in big blind. So what do we do here? So this is the cold 4-bit range, and then we can see how cutoff will react to this, what he jams, what he calls, what he folds. And we can see big blind's reaction versus cutoff all in. What we do end up calling, fold a bit of jacks, fold a bit of ace king, the rest usually we call. So you know, just quite interesting. These are ranges that we have an idea of what they are, but not entirely. So this gives you the exact information. Big blind defense. This is really cool because you can basically choose the side, the open size. So let's say we get an open from 3 big blinds from MP. So like, what do you do in buttons choose here? Well, you have it here. Let's say it's 2 big blinds. All right, then like you see that you're calling a shit ton more. So yeah, just quite useful. They have it through all the positions. 3.5 big blind, a lot of 3-betting, not a lot of calling. More calling and 2.2. And even versus small blind. And you have the option of all of these 3 sizings, and you also have the options of limp. So when small blind limps, you know, what do you do? Like, do you raise, do you call? This is very useful. And obviously you can copy the range into Pio like the other ones. So a lot of 3-betting, I'm guessing, versus 3.5, not much calling. So yeah, just very useful stuff. Like, saves you a lot of headache of guessing the ranges. And the other tab that I also use is heads up. You know, just you have all these different open sizes. So let's say small blind 3 opens 3. So you have the opening range for 3. I guess it will change for 2.5. Yeah, and then you have big blind's reaction. So it's just like super useful here to see the ranges. And here you have like the different sizings versus the 3-bets. You have like just 4-bit jam right away, or just 4-bit normal. It's very cool. So you have all of this here, then big blind's reaction. So yeah, just an awesome tool overall. And you have the option versus the what you do versus the 4-bit jam, you know, versus the normal 4-bit. So just like great tool overall. There's also the option, these ones I haven't played too much. I only mainly use those, but you know, if you're into the apps, Chinese apps, you have I think it's 8 max, right? Something like this. Yeah, it is. So yeah, like I said, I never really played it, and with antes and you know, like what you end up doing. So I haven't dabbled into this, but if you're into the apps, would be very useful for you. MTT play, so depending on the stack size, this etc. Like you have 10 big blinds, 15 big blinds, 30 big blinds play. Yeah, so it's just like great stuff overall here. You get the range versus range and how to play, and obviously MTT, the stack sizes are always changing, so quite useful as well. And you can customize your own ranges here. I haven't dabbled into this too much, but this option is also available for you. So yeah, just great tool overall. I use it almost every day, every time I study for sure. So yeah, this was the Jericho2, and I was showcasing this bunny viewer tool here that I really enjoy using while I'm studying. Take care, guys.